I've started a new series of videos. They're going to be 5 to 10 minute videos, and I'm going to do one every Saturday night and try and put them on at the same time, which will be probably 9 o'clock. And they're going to be all about basic operations on the metal turning lathe. A lot of people have asked us if I'll do sort of a tutorial, because I'm more hands-on than theory, and seemingly people like the way I try and explain things. But being as well, I'm a motor mechanic by trade, but I have done quite a lot of machine work and welding. The first episode was on last night. If you have a look on the Patreon channel, I think it's up to episode 8, but the episodes will be coming on here every Saturday night. Have a look, see what you think. If you like what you see, give us a thumbs up, click the like. If you want us to cover any particular topic, just send us an email on my normal email address. This is one of the drip oilers that I put into my stationary steam engine last week. I come into the workshop this morning and it had pissed all its oil out. It was everywhere, and it appears to be leaking between this glass, or this plastic side glass, and that brass base. Quite a few people showed interest in how these work, so I'm going to take it apart and show you how it works and see if we can find out why it was leaking. The first thing is that the control needle, that comes out like that. That's on a spring and it's constantly pushed down so that that point of the needle blocks off the little oil hole in the bottom. And when you simply do that, that little cam lifts the needle so the oil is able to run past the needle and drip through the lubricator. There's a side glass there so you can see the oil dripping out. Right, so that's the needle taken out. You disconnect this next. This is that's like a little spring loaded thing that works on that serrated wheel there, and that's what gives you the height of the needle for the control of the oil flow. We want to take that off. Right, below there is a little simple disc that goes back and forward and just blanks off the oil filler hole. So that comes off. This should just screw off. Indeed it does. This is all solid brass and only a tin plate sheet here, and that's plastic. So there's a little bit of gauze in the bottom to stop any big bits, and I can see straight away that there's no joint or no seal between the plastic and the brass, so that's probably why it was leaking oil. The bottom of that's quite rough as well, so I think I'll make a thickish paper gasket or a paper joint to go in there. That should stop the problem with the leak. I've got a set of hole punches for cutting out gaskets, so that should do for a gasket for in there. I've got some proper jointing paper, so I'm sure I can cut a joint out of there. You don't cut it in the middle because you'll waste a lot. Cut it to one side like that. Right, and that sort of nearly went through. I'll pick the same place up. Right, so it has cut a circle over, it's not a particularly nice circle. I'm sure I can do a little bit better than that. So we need to hit it a bit harder. So we'll simply use a bigger hammer. Right, that's the number 2 hammer. That was a number 1 hammer. Okay, so we've got a joint cut out. Now we need a hole in the centre of it so it'll go over the top of there. Right, so we'll go for the centre. Looks quite good. Right, so that's cut out a nice joint that'll go in there. That really does look the part. Right, so that goes onto there like that, and that should seal, well, a lot better than the way it was. I'll put it back together and put some oil in and see if it actually seals it up. So that bit went on first. Pivots like that, opening and closing that little oil hole, and that went on, and the little nut. You could spend a bit of time polishing all these up, but it depends what you want. My engine's sort of like a working engine. It's clean, but it's not shiny. Right, so that's got just enough grip on there that's nice. And the needle goes in. And that's just a little ratchet on there that stops that from unwinding. The needle is, depending on how much you give it, that's going to lift the needle just to fan his hair. That's going to give it a bit more. Oil's cheap really. Right, we'll put some oil in and see if it runs out of there. I want to put some thin oil in, just so if it's going to leak we'll get a result straight away. Right, let that stand and see what happens. So the way it is there, the valve shuts. So if I open the little, it should start to drip oil out. There it is. You can see it or not. So it's dripping oil there, and then we'll close that, and it stops dripping oil. Very simple, very effective. I'll do it there when you can see it actually. Right, so the valve there is closed. That lifts the needle up, allows the oil to drip out. I'll take the other one off and do the other one as well. Although the other one doesn't appear to be leaking to the same degree. All I'll do, I'll just knock the gasket out ready for it. Actually, it says made in England there. It's a bit of a novelty these days, I think. I was saying maybe you could punch it two and do both things in one go, but you can't. Right, so. I was using this last week to cut some steel reinforced jointing material on Richard's steam wagon, which it did the job very nicely. Just find the centre again as best as we can with the eyeball method. That looks pretty good. Like that. And there you have it. And that's hard to cut with scissors, you'll be on the edges, but it's a really good set. I'll bring it set in and let you have a look at it. So it goes from tiny little to really big. Don't think it's had much use. obviously old. It wants these things gluing back in the box, and it wants a new lid making. I'm sure it will be a good job for my mate Bob. Everybody needs a mate like Bob. Oh, it's got blow point right on. Blow point made, well, blow point was snap on second line at one stage. Okay, so I've got that joint made, ready for the other one. And that certainly looks like it's nice and dry now. This Stuart Turner engine is just about finished now. There's one last little job to do. All these pipes, they're cylinder drains, and that's condensate, and there's that going into this collector pot, and there's a pipe that goes from the collector pot down, probably just away to there. I've actually managed to find a bit of 1/2 inch copper pipe, heavy wall stuff. I had to buy it. I haven't got an olive, I've got the nut though. So I'm going to make an olive and then fit this pipe. The pipe comes in sort of a hard state or a semi-hard state, and I'll need to soften it to bend it. It is very heavy wall, so it should bend quite nicely. So it'll go from here and probably around and just down there. I think that's what we're going to be doing. So I'll have to find a piece of suitable brass, and we'll make a little olive for that, and then soften the pipe and bend it into shape. I found a little off-cut of brass which will be more than enough to make a little olive out of. Basically all I want is a taper on both sides, just so it locks into the little taper in there. There's no pressure on this, it's just a simple little drain pipe. So I need a taper putting on this side. And what I'll do is I'll put the hole in first, and I know how much I've got to play with. Not a bad habit, just to make sure you've got clearance between your chuck jaws and tool ports and things before you start the lathe up. Saves any unnecessary surprises. Go all the way through so I can put the reamer all the way through. The drill's trying to grab and drag itself through. There is a special way to sharpen drills for drilling brass. That'll be a spot on fit on the pipe. I'll then put a little rag on it. Yeah, absolutely spot on. So all I want now is a little taper on here, a taper on the other side, and then we can part it off and carry on putting the pipe together. All it needs, and that'll nip up onto the pipe. Nice sharp edge on there, so that's going to nip onto the pipe. I need to do the same on the other side. I'll probably do it with a parting tool and just sort of feed it in manually. A little bit of manual CNC work. Unfortunately I missed the parting off part, but that's the little olive I managed to make, and that goes onto there quite nicely, and the union will go on, and that will definitely tighten into where it's got to tighten into, no problem at all. Next thing is to go and soften a bit of pipe. To anneal copper or soften copper, you simply heat it up to a cherry red heat and let it cool. You can't quench it in water, it doesn't make any softer, it just cleans it. So you want a nice cherry red. I'll turn the light out in here and you see that. That's the colour you need. A little bit hot there, I've actually melted the end of it. But that's going to cool down. In fact, I'll quench it in some water just to clean it, and then we can bend it. Right, so I've quenched it in water, and that's just taking the black colour off, and that's the colour of freshly softened copper. Right, I've got the olive on, I've got the nut on. The first thing I need to do is put a little bend in so I can actually get the nut started. I haven't got a bend on this side, but the tubing is very, very soft, and it should bend quite readily without kinking. Just about there. A little bit more of a bend in it, but it's certainly going the way I want it. A little bit more, but it's nearly there. I might have to soften this stuff twice, I'm not sure. Right, so that's started in there. I'm going to tighten the nut up now just to squeeze the olive onto the tube. Right, so that's locked that in quite nicely. And basically I just want to curve it round so it goes out underneath there. That's kind of no plans or design, I just want to make it so I like the look of it. Right, so it's squeezed the olive on, you can see there, I think. You'll be able to see where it's focused, you bastard. There you go. I'm not a great one for polishing things, but this is going to lend itself to being shiny, this bit. So apart from painting the engine, that's virtually it finished. And I'll be taking this engine to the steam lorries coming weekend at Chesterley Street. And Richard's wagon will be there, so I'll be able to run it off Sentinel boiler. This is also a Sentinel steam wagon. This is a Sentinel Super S4. I've just called in to give a little bit moral support at the farm. I'll keep Richard's steam wagon. The S4 is a shaft driven engine, is what the S stands for, and the 4 for the 4-wheel. This one's been beautifully restored. Once again, it's just time to say thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, and a massive thanks for all the well wishes and kind words. Anyway, thanks for watching. Once again, it's just time to say thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, and as always, a massive thanks, you clown.